What's going on, YouTube? It's James with ChiHammer Fantasy Battle Report. Got another battle report for you today. It's the road to Serbia, to NoviSad. Guys, I'm going to NoviSad, Serbia. Actually, in 1 week as of today, I'm going to NoviSad, Serbia. Actually going to Budapest first, but then NoviSad, Serbia. And for ETC and the ESC, I'm going for double. I'm going for both. But guys, so this game that I'm showing you today is against Mr. Jeff Durham. Here's a picture of me and Jeff. This is actually a multifunctioning game here. All right, number one is Fergus, who's the guy who took the photo right here. He is running a Chicago League. Basically, the winners of the Chicago League will win some belts, some like wrestling belts that are custom made with the Dice Dojo logo, with the Windy City Warhammer logo, and tells you that you're the champion of the league or whatever, right? Number two, so this is for like all the Chicagoland areas, basically suburbs included, and then this is going as far up as Wisconsin because Wisconsin's not too far off. Second off, this is the 4th of July weekend this happened. So 4th of July weekend, I had like a 5-day weekend, just happened to be that way. I ended up staying up by my parents' house, which is close to Wisconsin as is. And then it just so happens that Jeff is throwing this shindig barbecue going on at his place. We get to get some games in, we get some barbecue in. It all worked out. It was actually a really good time. This is the second time I've ever been to Jeff's house. Jeff is a fantastic host. Jeff is a fantastic host, and it was a good time. It was a good time. Now I'm testing. This is actually before I submitted my list for ETC. So for those of you who actually seen my list of ETC, you will get an understanding of the basic structure that I was going for on my army. You'll see it in this army here, but this is I do a couple more tweaks before I get there. And I'm playing Jeff, and Jeff, this is, I'm not sure, I haven't even looked at the Warriors of the Dark Gods list yet. I've been looking through majority of the list, but I actually got the one where it tells me in alphabetical order, and in alphabetical order, Warriors of the Dark Gods is actually at the bottom of the list. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm actually on Undying Dynasties right now. So we're going to go over what Jeff has on the table. I'm going to try to go over what I have. I didn't take pictures because I got to a point where I stopped taking pictures of my own damn army because I have so many pictures of my army. But then I always forget to include them in these photos. Anyways, if you guys don't know, that's Jeff Durham right there. And he's also going to ETC. He's going to be on Team USA. He's their Warriors of the Dark Gods player. Let's go over what I have for Magic, what he has for Magic. Let's go over this game in general. He has Breath of Corruption. He has, I can't tell what the number 2 spell of Occultism is. He has Ancestral Aid, Hellfire, Whispers of the Veil, and Touch of the Reaper. So basically he takes a lot of snipe spells and magical missiles for his spell selection. He has obviously a guy who has 2 spells of Occultism, and then he also has a Master of Evocation, but the Master of Evocation took the Hereditary. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I actually had to open up the list, and I thought I had it opened up, so it took a little while longer, so I just edited out that part where you guys just hear silence. But anyways, so Jeff the Boss Hog Durham going as Warriors of the Dark Gods. So like I said, he has a unit of 24 warriors with a banner of speed. I don't think that's what those are, though. Are they? Do they just get spike shields to begin with? I don't know. I don't know how. It looks pretty similar to the list I fought, actually. Yeah, so I'm just assuming those are just 24 warriors with spike shields. It doesn't show on the army list that they have spike shields, though. Is that just like a... Do they automatically get it? I don't know. Alright, his Sorcerer Lord is actually on the chariot right there facing sideways. And then on the left, he has a unit of knights. The... warrior knights with lances. He has a unit of hellhounds right there. Are they considered hellhounds still? Warhounds. There are 8 of them. Now he has 2 units of Feldrax. Now Feldrax, I thought for a long time, whenever I heard the word Feldrak, I thought it was like this dragon thing. I thought it was actually kind of cool. I was like, wow, what the fuck is a Feldrak? Is it like some new kind of dragon chimera kind of thing? I didn't realize they were just dragon ogres. I had no fucking clue they were just dragon ogres. I was like, oh, they're just dragon ogres. Anyways, he has 2 units of them, so there's 10 dragon ogres there. He has 2 regular armored chariots. I don't think they're character chariots, they're just warrior chariots. And then he has another unit of dogs over on the right side. Now, unfortunately for his deployment, I think I deployed everything first because it was just pain in the ass because of his buildings. I'm going to show you a further view of the buildings. I started on this side of the table, and then I think I switched over to the other side. Yeah, so because just these buildings are right in the way. We were playing, I want to say it was flags. I want to say it was flag scenario. But it was just like, I'm going to just drop everything. I'm just going to go first because this is just a pain in the ass. He put his warrior knights down, and I kind of realized what I wanted to do, where I wanted to deploy. So basically that's how I'm going to deploy, like so. You can see over here. Now I put my spider all the way on the left. Now my spider is actually, you're gonna hear it. Koopa on a goddamn gargantula spider on the chicken rock. You know what? Phil Carl gave me shit about it. That he's kind of upset that I didn't get the Koopa model and actually magnetize it onto the chicken rock. I actually have a magnet planted on the chicken rock so I could switch out whoever's on there. But I don't have an extra Koopa model, and I wasn't going to paint one up or order one within a week. I mean, Serbia's next week, so just no Koopa yet. It's just going to be chicken head on there. And next to Koopa is a unit of 28 Savage Orc Ed Bashers. They switched down to 27 eventually, but they have extra paired weapons, hand weapons, and the green time banner. And the guys, there's a Shy ambulance behind the Savages. I have my goblins, forest goblins, 20 of them, skirmish, and throwing weapons, bows, and I don't think I took the Relentless Banner on this one. I think this one I took the Crown of Autocracy, which, anyways. There's a couple switches in this list, like I said, but they do have the BSB and the Pyromaniac, and their backs to the Pyromaniac. Up on the hill, I got the K-Pack. K-Pack basically holding the hill, so I could threaten the range of all these Feldrax or whatever else. Got the Squigs right next to them, and then right next to them, I got a unit of dogs, which is my only chaff in this list, besides potentially anything else. I got my Black Orcs on the right side, then I have my Squigs on the right side of them. My normal deployment, I think I switched it around from this nowadays. I kind of came up, I've played a lot of UB recently, where I try to figure out what's my best deployment. This wasn't horrible. The Goblins on the right side, actually, it's a unit of 30 of them with the 3 Shady Gits and the banner. I was playing with this one. I talked to Hermanard about it. I've been playing with this list because we were trying to just set up that trap. The one thing that kind of limits that unit is without the BSB and the extra banner, the war banner back in the day, I'm losing combat res, and I don't really get that much benefit out of that unit like I used to. Let's go over magic. Yeah, that was movement. As you can see, I just moved on up. Let's go over magic. Magic, I got 3 on the flux. Go ahead and I do a pyroclastic float, and I wipe out the dogs. I killed off all 8 dogs exactly. He was like, oh, what the fuck. Go ahead and I do a scorching salvo, and it only does a wound onto a Feldrak. Go ahead and shoot these guys here into the dogs. I only kill 1 dog, and it's going to go and start off his turn. Turn 1. Where's the Durham, the boss hog? No, wait. Warriors of the Boss Hog Gods. Boss Hog Gods. Sorry, I messed that up. Alright, turn 1. He's going to go ahead and charge. Does he charge already? Did he charge? I think he did charge. Holy shit. I think he was just charging his Feldrax in. He fails the charge, of course, though. They didn't get that far. He's moving up his warriors there with his general. His general's on the scythe wheel thing, but it's not a scythe wheel. It's a war dais. Yeah, it's a war dais. He has the burning portent sword, and yeah, he's just an asshole. He's coming on up. Now, I'm not too worried about it yet. I was keeping my spider back a bit from his evocation spells, more or less, and that's kind of where I was just going for, was just keeping the spider back just enough until I needed. He saw the spider as an immediate threat to the knights, so he actually moved the knights out of the way. They actually made a swift reform, started walking towards the ruins, and he let the warriors out. Magic, he got a 7 on the flux, goes ahead and he does Whispers of the Veil onto the chariots, does a couple wounds, I believe. Or no, this is the one that lowers their toughness and their leadership. Goes ahead and does Hand of Glory on these guys, gives them a 5-up board. At this point, even though I could charge him, I really don't want to charge him when he has a 5-up board. Let's go into turn 2 Orcs and Goblins. Turn 2 Orcs and Goblins, I end up using my chaff. I put my dogs up there in front of his Feldrax. He has his chariots that can see the Black Orcs. I don't really care that he can see the Black Orcs. Or he doesn't really see the Black Orcs. I don't think so. He put his chariots, like, kind of going both ways. So I can't shoot his dogs, but then I was explaining to him, like, volley fire, how it works. Technically, I won't be able to see the dogs if I can't see the dogs through the chariots, but if I see the dogs on to the left side, I could probably just still shoot them. Doesn't really matter. Savage is kind of sitting still. My chariots are still holding the hill because I'm just going to use it to my advantage. And let's go over magic. Go ahead and do a fireball into his... Looks like I did it to his freaking Feldrax. Did 2 wounds onto them. Go ahead and do a flaming sword bubble. End up getting 444, so I'm going to lose flaming swords. And the reason I did this was basically if he charged me with the savages, I'm going to be able to, or the spider, I'm going to be able to have flaming swords up, but at the same time I'm going to shoot wounds into the Feldrax. Shooting, here we go. Going to shoot. Actually, I shot the freaking warriors. Killed 3 warriors, though. That's pretty decent, actually, for strength 3 shooting. And that's about it. It's going to start off turn 2. Warriors of the Dark Gods. Warriors of the Dark Gods, turn 2. He doesn't charge. Does he charge the damn dogs? Doesn't even look like he charged the dogs. Did he? No, he didn't charge the dogs. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and just move around. As you can see, he moves the chariots threatening the Black Orcs. I really don't care. I bust up my goblins because there was nothing to shoot because he was blocking line of sight, so I just decided to put him in bust formation ready to charge something. But he moves the dogs right in front of them, and that's just going to be a giant pillow fight on the right side. On the left side is where all the interesting action is. Everything left of the house. We are literally playing with a quarter of the table. Like 30% of the table. We're not even playing with the whole fucking table. Everything is on that side of the house to the ruins. Holy shit. But these 2 chariots are coming around the corner. Magic, he gets a 6 on the flux. Goes there, he just touches the Reaper on the chariot. Just kind of have to take it. Takes a wound. Alright. He does Ancestral Aids, which gives these guys rerolls to hit, which is... I didn't want this one to go off. But he actually has 2 of these spells, I believe. It's either 2 of these spells or 2 of the ward save spells. Goes ahead, gives these guys a ward save, and that is it. It's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins, turn 3. Orcs and Goblins, turn 3. On a 3, 2, 1. Wog! I'm going to wog. I'm going to charge because he's getting too damn close. I charged my savages in. I charged my spider in. I was actually hoping I could zigzag. I was actually hoping my spider could have went up, pivoted, hit the corner of the unit, and then my savages hit the other side. The problem was the spider's ass sticks out too much, and the other problem was the savages would be in the way. Couldn't fucking do it. I really wanted to do this. But I was just like, you know what? I already committed. Let's go through it. Let's go through the motion. So that's basically how it looks on the left side. I moved my BSB close enough so that way I could at least have a stubborn 8. I don't think his guy with the freaking Burning Portent is going to kill Koopa on 1 round of combat. I do believe that he will kill Koopa. I just don't believe he'll kill Koopa in 1 round of combat. Kept my dogs there. There was no downside for me on that, basically. If the dogs are going to be there, the dogs are going to be in the way. So I'm just going to try to focus on killing his freaking warriors here. I ignore his parry. Doesn't really matter. Chariots didn't go in because he still has that ward save up, and I'm just not really a fan of these ward saves. I'm going to continue to just try to shoot wounds, do magic, and hurt these Feldrax before anybody gets in combat. Black Orcs are basically just going to just reform to face the chariots. And my goblins on the right side did charge his dogs because I have already killed 3 dogs. And look at this. Boom! Oh my god, how glorious is this? Jeff does have some really well-painted armies. He actually has a lot of armies on display in his basement. Unfortunately, I didn't take any pictures of them. There's beautiful pieces everywhere. Old pieces, too, which is really cool, like the really old models. Just to give you guys a little history, back in the day, I had like in the early 90s, seriously, in the early 90s, I had like this catalog which you could order the old GW models, and I used to look at it, and they had like them all painted really nicely to try to sell them to you, and just it's so good to see those models in person like 30 years later, 20 years later. That's crazy, you know what I mean? 30 years later. It's just mind-boggling to me. Anyways, Anyways, these guys got in. Magic got a 5 on the flux. Go ahead, and I don't even know what I did. I don't think I had much to do. Did not do. I think I tried to do a flaming sword onto the big unit or rerolls to hit on the big unit, and I either failed one and he stopped one. But basically, that's what it looks like. Shooting over here, I'm going to shoot into his freaking Feldrax, do another wound, and then close combat. Close combat up here. He ends up racking. We contemplated doing the challenge. If he does the challenge, basically my spider's not going to do shit. But this way, if I don't challenge, he was more afraid that I was just going to give him a champ. So he doesn't challenge, I don't challenge because I didn't want the spider not being useful, and basically I wanted to be able to do thunder stomps into the unit and the breath weapon into the unit. Anyways, so he does 4 wounds onto the spider. Spider goes back and does 2 wounds to this guy. Actually, Koopa on top has Koopa weapons. He has the shield breaker weapon, which was the obsidian sword or whatever it was called before. Ends up going right through his armor. This guy only has he doesn't even have a ward save. He has no ward save unless he throws the ward save on him, or he has a regular ward save and gets boosted with the ward save on him. It doesn't really matter. But I failed to freaking. I wounded enough on him actually. It's just that the 2 wounds were done by Koopa, the rest were done by the spider, and the spider failed to freaking wound him, or failed to get through his armor. Right? The savages. Let's go over that. Savages end up killing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of his guys. Going back though, he ended up killing more than 10. It looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. So he's done 12 wounds. I've done 10 wounds. He's done 4 wounds to my spider. I've done 2. So I actually lose combat. And I believe I stick anyways though. I just roll really low and both of them are going to be there. If not, it's just the savage. No, they're both there. Obviously, the fight with the dogs, let's go to this picture here. I end up winning the combat, but I've only killed 1 dog. I killed 1 dog. I don't even think I killed the dog. I think I just charged him and I whiffed and he whiffed. And I won because I had 3 ranks and a banner, so he's going to lose. He runs, and it's going to go ahead and start off turn 3, Warriors of the Hog Gods. Warriors of the Hog Gods! I think I got it now, guys. Turn 3, he's gonna go boom and charge in with both chariots. Now this I found a little odd. I found this just, I mean, he's gonna do damage to my Black Orcs. I don't know if that was his plan, was just to weaken up the Black Orcs or what. But here he's gonna double charge into my it makes sense. He's gonna charge into my guys here, but basically it's leaving my Black Orcs tied up as long as the chariots hold. That's what makes sense. Magic, he got a 4 on the flux, goes ahead and he gives these motherfuckers rerolls to hit and a ward save. That was the problem with the last round. Last round he had the rerolls to hit, and that was huge for him. So basically, yeah, he gets off. He got rerolls to wound, breath of corruption, and hand of glory, and I couldn't stop all his shit. That's one of the problems. Is all his spells were really fucking useful. All of his spells are very deadly. And there's not much I could do about that. He overruns here, and in both of his overruns, he falls short on overrunning it to anything worth a damn. Over here, close combat. Holy shit, my general beat the shit out of one of the chariots. My general just butter knifed one. I went with great weapons because those things have a 3-up armor, end up killing off the second one, and he's like, son of a bitch, that leaves my Black Orcs a free charge on my turn. I'm just going to pivot them and charge into whatever the fuck I want. Over here, close combat, he ends up killing the spider before I get to go, which is just a damn shame. I should have killed that guy on his last round. I don't know if the war dice actually gives him more wounds than 2, or 3, I mean. That's something I got to look up, to be honest, but I just assumed that he had 3 wounds, because to me it was a Scythe Lord, to be honest. And there's another ambulance in this video. Between the Savage Orcs, though, Savage Orcs, they got their asses kicked. I did kill a couple more of his warriors. But it just wasn't, like, I mean, he has rerolls to wound, he has ward saves, it was just brutal. He's going to kill my savages. I have 3 guys left, they run, and it's going to start off Orcs and Goblins turn 4. Orcs and Goblins turn 4. So this is where it gets tricky. I pivoted my unit. I charge with my squigs first into his guys all the way up there. I think I charged with my Black Orcs first. He held. Then I charged with the squigs, and he fled. And when he fled, it fucks me because he wanted me to, where I catch with the squigs, I would be in the way of my Black Orcs. Well, my Black Orcs redirect into the flank of his unit there, which, okay, we'll see how that goes, right? So I capture the unit. Now, right here, I do have pictures, because it gets a little hard. I think, not saying anything about Jeff, it just gets a little tricky. If I catch him with the squigs, I should be lined up right by that, almost to the edge of the building. You see that? Like an inch in the building, right? Which I think I do. Right there, I just kind of redirect. Alright, the problem is, I needed a 6 to get into his flank of the other guys, and I fucking fail it. I fucking fail it. Are you fucking kidding me? Right there was a huge swing. Right there was a huge swing. If I was to get in with the Black Orcs to the flank, and I think that, again, like I said, he did a very smart move by fleeing. If he fled short, my squigs would have actually been in the way of my Black Orcs to block the charge, and I think that's what he was planning. But the Black Orcs failing to get the charge in the flank cost me the ability to wipe out that unit as well, because what ends up happening is I might not win by much, but I will win combat, cause him to flee sideways and off the table, and I just took out his 2 biggest threats, and then I just have Black Orcs versus his warriors. But because they failed the charge on a 6, I ended up doing this thing with the chariots. And I didn't charge the chariots in on purpose, and I think that might have been a mistake. I think I should have just charged the chariots into that unit in the left. I think I was more scared of him fleeing after he fled with the squigs. I was like, shit, maybe I shouldn't charge with the chariots, because he's just going to flee out of the Black Orcs, and now the Black Orcs have nothing to charge, right? And I was so sure that I was going to just get into that flank and just win that combat on a fucking 6. But they failed. Alright, so I'm using the K-Pack, as you can see, as a conga line to chaff him. Like I said, sometimes I just have to be creative with my chaff. My goblins on the left side decided to walk up. Now, the whole time, this is a big mistake by me, the whole time I'm worried that he's going to charge it to my 2 characters. So you can see Baxter and Bazooka walked out of the unit, and I'm thinking, shit, that guy on the war dais is going to fly over all this shit and charge into me. I'm thinking he's going to fly into my damn Bazooka. So I could have put Bazooka behind the unit. I could have done whatever. I'm thinking he could just charge me. He could just charge me the whole time. And technically, I think he can. I think he could just run forward. I thought the guy flew, though. He does not fly. I didn't realize this till after the game. Magic got a 7 on the flux. Go ahead and I do a fireball onto, I think, some warriors. Onto Feldrax, do a wound. I do a Scorching Salvo, does another wound. And then that's it. It's going to start off his turn. Turn 4. Turn 4, he charges in here, which I'm like, I put him as chaff for a reason. And then he charges the knights into my squigs, which is going to be an interesting fight over here. Magic gets a 1 on the flux, goes ahead and he does a ward save on these flux, whatever. He ends up killing off 2 of my chariots. My chariots run, and they fucking chaff my Black Orcs. God damn it. God damn it. He did rally with his Feldrax, of course, and he just decided to turn around and start walking away, which is really interesting. That could have went poorly for him. Over here, close combat, my squigs ended up killing off 2 of his knights. His knights rack up wounds. I mean, they killed off maybe 8 to 10 squigs. But I am steadfast. My general's right behind them. They actually stick, which is actually really interesting. It's going to start off turn 5 Orcs and Goblins. Turn 5 Orcs and Goblins. Here it comes, guys. Here is the big moment. My Goblins on the right. The trap is going to charge into that freaking Sorcerer Lord. They get it. Nope, they fail. Never mind. Take it back. I reform the Black Orcs. My chariot does rally, and I go ahead and I move my Goblins like so. I move my Goblins like so because I want to throw throwing weapons, stand and shoot more throwing weapons, and I put Bazooka and Baxter up on the hill just to shoot fireballs and shots into his warriors, right? Magic got a 2 on the flux. Go ahead, and doesn't look like I did much in magic shooting. I ended up shooting at him. I might have killed a guy or 2. I don't have any pictures. I don't know why I don't have any pictures. It's going to start off turn 5. Warriors of the Hog Gods. Warrior of the Hog Gods. Whew, he charges in. I decide actually to flee. It was a last minute decision. I fled. Fergus looked at me like, what the fuck are you doing? You set it up the whole time to do a stand and shoot. My whole point was, we're playing King of the Hill. That was exactly the objective. The hill that I'm on is the objective, right? So if I flee, it forces him to not have any opponents to redirect into and waste the turn running the wrong way. Alright, this whole time I'm thinking it's, I might have the turns wrong. I think I have the turns wrong. I think that's what ends up fucking me over, is that I have the turns wrong. I think this is turn 5, but I might be turn 4. So he's going to just stumble forward, which, okay. Over here, close combat, my Squigs have been holding, but he charged in with his chariot, and basically that's how the table looks, right? As you can see, that's where he stumbled forward. And then his fucking Feldrak decided to turn around in the forest. Okay. Magic, he gets a 5 on the flux. Yeah, it's turn 4. Look how many cards he has. He has 4 on there. I'm over here thinking it's turn 5, so if turn 6 all I do is chaff him, he loses the objective, right? That's all I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking. I was thinking objective. He goes ahead and he does Hand of Glory here. And gets it on this guy. Close combat, I'm just trying to kill some fucking knights. I kill one more, but he ends up killing 4 of my guys here. And I don't blow up on a double 1. I am dead serious. I sat there. There's another ChiHammer, guys. But we did the combat res, and like I did a wound, you did 3, 6, 7 wounds, you have a charge, you're up by 8, I'm leadership 10. I can stick on double 1s. I roll it, boom, boom, double 1s. I'm like, what the fuck? That was horrible. That was horrible. Oh god, it's gonna give me another chance to kill some knights though. Turn 5, Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins, turn 5. I'm gonna charge a trap into the flank. Now, I could easily challenge that guy out, give him a champ, give him a frickin' shady. I don't give a fuck. I don't even need to do any wounds to him. I just need him to kill, whatever. I charged the K-Pack into the remaining knights, right? Now, I'm hoping that if I could force him to run, I could overrun towards his Feldrax and hold them up for a round or two, whatever, right? So I get in like so, boom, boom. Alright, now, like I said, this whole time, I'm thinking that this is turn 6, or the bottom of 5, or whatever. I'm thinking that this is the end of the game, basically. So I set up this thing with the goblins, even though it's 2 characters, that he just can't turn around and walk onto the hill. Alright, that's what I'm thinking. Left my Black Orcs close enough so that way if he comes around to the right, my Black Orcs see him, threatens him, whatever, right? Magic, I got a 4 on the flux, go ahead, and I just think I'm just trying to do wounds onto his unit, just try to kill his unit outright. I end up doing 2 wounds. Turn 5, his turn. This is when we realize we have another turn. He's going to charge... Oh, shit. The combat up here. This combat up here. My chariots go in. I end up doing 7 impact hits. Out of the 7 impact hits, I don't even think I killed 1 knight with their fucking 1-up armor. I challenge... give him my champ. He ends up killing my champ. He gets max overkill, right? So he gets a 4 on the overkill. I believe he did a couple wounds onto my chariot. He kills the Squigs. He kills the Squigs outright. Okay, so he at least has 6 wounds. I think that's exactly what he has. He has 6 wounds, maybe 7. Okay, now I have a charge, a flank, a big flank, 3 ranks, banner, and maybe a wound. Okay? So I win combat, but by 1. By 1. This motherfucker rolls his, like, leadership 7 and a leadership 5 or some shit like that. I forgot what it was. He sticks. And it sets up his turn 5, and he just charges in with the Feldrakes. God damn it. Alright. Magic, he gets a 2 on the flux. Goes ahead and gives these guys all this stuff. I don't even remember. He ends up doing a Hellfire onto my wizard. Kills my wizard outright. And basically, he ends up just destroying my chariot. Destroying my Squigs. And he's going to punk my goblin unit. His 1 knight overruns almost into the flank of the Black Orcs. And then... my turn 6. I'm just trying to block I'm trying to block it so he doesn't have enough room to walk in between my character and his character. So he can't just swift freeform and walk in that way. I made a major mistake here, and I left my BSB right there willing to get flank charged by his general, right? Because I'm thinking if he charges into me, he's leaving himself no room to get to the objective. That's all I'm doing, is making sure he doesn't get to the objective, right? So my Black Orcs just turn around because he's going to have the last turn. And up there, my Goblins just blow up. Alright, so what he does, I'm going to go back to this picture here, is he just decides not to charge. And he just moves his general out the way. And his guys walk around me. God damn it. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I don't know why. And he just walks onto the fucking objective. It's a horrible Orc and Goblin loss. It wasn't... I didn't feel at any point this was out of hand. I didn't feel like, oh, his army just overpowered me. By no means possible. I didn't think that. What ended up fucking me over was obviously that Feldrak unit that never got charged. It was a flank charge on a 6. That Feldrak unit ended up walking away, walking around, and coming back and killing my Goblins, who were almost in my deployment King of the Hill objective. Which should have won that combat, because I could have just kept that chariot in combat the whole time and it's just win by combat res. But, you know, it didn't. You know, and I am not upset. It was a really fun game. It was a good game. It was a good learning game, to be honest. You know, just thinking about, like, things. I love my list. I think that there's a couple tweaks in this list that I make. I end up dropping that unit. That was the only game that I really played them with because, like I said, missing the 2 extra combat res from the BSB and the War Banner that used to be in the game really limits the trap unit. So I decided to drop that, save on core points, and ended up putting in 2 skewers. They were the last thing I did. I played with like Orc chariots, other chariots. I played with beefing up my units, depowering my units. I played with a lot of different variations. I've been playing a shit ton of games on newbie just to see what I could get closer to what I think would be helpful in ETC. I don't really think I played a bad game here. There was a couple mistakes I did make, like that not knowing what fucking turn it was. That was huge. Over here I'm thinking like, yeah, I only have to stop him from getting on the hill for 1 more turn. No, that really kicked me in the ass. And then, you know, there's an old saying that I back in the 8th edition when my brother played this guy, we ended up hanging out with him. His name was Alex, and Alex said, get the units in combat that you want to get into combat with, right? I think that statement should be, I need to remember that. I do think this table was fucking horrible with the houses the way they were. We really were just fighting within this quarter of the table. It really wasn't using the other side of the table for much, you know. It limited where my Black Orcs could go and wheel around. Overall, I feel like Jeff played a solid game, obviously. And his spell selection was just brutal. I mean, his spells, he has so many tricks with the ward saves, the buffs, the close combat buffs, the magic missiles, the snipes. So I think that's just a brutal matchup that way. Overall, I don't think I would still. I think that I should be able to do better. I think I needed to utilize my Black Orcs better in this match specifically. And this is something that I had to learn. There's been several games that I played where I have the Black Orcs or the Savages doing their thing, but I really need them backing each other up. They can't be just doing things on their own every time, and I think that would have changed how this game went overall. Spider and the Savages did great. I think the Black Orcs and the Savages would have done great together too. Like I said, I'm gonna hold it against that fact that I couldn't freaking overpower that Feldrak unit with a flank charge. I think that would have cost me. That cost me that whole north section. That whole north section was wiped out because the damn Feldraks killed the Goblins. The Goblins failed to kill the caster. The caster, and basically just that was about it. You know what I mean? As for the bottom half, I do think the Spider did kind of what she was meant to do. Koopa was meant to do. I think that the Spider is a really cool character piece. It does offer a different variety, and you'll see that in other games that I play coming up. Yeah, that's my whole synopsis on basically how this game went. Like I said, Jeff was an awesome host. He ended up having bratwurst at his place, had a full-on barbecue here, and then we ended up driving back to my mama's house. Guys, for those of you that kind of know or don't know, I'm working on a couple different projects. Here you go. Here's an Infernal Dwarf that I'm working on, drawing up, and also here is a vampire count that I am working on, Coven count that I'm working on. Basically, I am making these for a project that's coming up very soon. I'm hopefully going to get them out by after ETC, and I hope you guys. I'm waiting to drop the knowledge on you guys. I don't want to give it away, but just a little teaser image of my projects that I'm working on. And then yeah, my next game I will get will not be until like another week later, where I ended up playing Joel Flint, who just happened to be near Chicago and came down for a game at the Dice Dojo. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this video was kind of long, but there was just a lot I had to say. Like I said, as you know, it's a new list for me, and we'll see how it does. Hopefully, I don't let my team down, because I've been practicing my ass off, thinking I can't let my team down. Unfortunately, a lot of my practice games, I have been letting them down, but it's been practice games. I just keep telling myself, just wait to ETC. In ETC, I already did the number crunching. I believe I had like a... Alright, here we go. Sorry. Yeah, so I have my ESC and ETC record, and I'm only counting the time that I was in Mexico, Team Mexico. I'm not counting the time that I was in Team USA. But I have a 14-win ESC ETC record, 9 loss, 1 tie, and yeah, I think that overall I want to just try to keep up that winning record. So I'm just trying to get, hopefully, not let my team down, and get a couple games in. I do have a couple pictures. Let me see if I don't know if I have them on this yet, but I could just put them up later after I edit this video. But I did get a couple games in. I've been getting a lot of games in. I'm not going to say a couple games in. I got a lot of games in on UB. Played Smith Family recently, and then I ended up playing Furion. The Furion game was really close. The Smith Family game was not really close. And yeah, it was interesting. So there's been a lot more involvement in me, with me, and I'm just hoping to get you guys some good content. So see you guys out there. Got another game coming in soon, like I said, against Joel Flint. MVP in this game, it was really rough. I don't know, there wasn't really an MVP per se, because nobody really got wiped out except for the Squeaks killing off 1 unit. So everybody kind of let me down. that's the end of it. Everybody kind of let me down. Yeah. So anyways, guys, till next time, take care and peace. And I'll give you some new ChiHammer content very soon. Peace.